Welcome back, everybody. Ep.2 of the Juicebox Racing Leagues recap show. I'm, of course, CJ, the racer, of course, joined along with.
Mr. Hank Steinmiller.
All right, so Ep.2. Episode 1 was kind of shaky. It was a bit long for our liking. We ended up going about an hour. We're going to try and shorten that up today, but then it's going to be one hell of a challenge because we kind of try and cover 2 races in one episode. So this should be extremely interesting. So we're going to be covering both Dover that we raced in the Cup cars, and then we'll be covering after that the Talladega race that we did in the trucks. Both pretty extremely interesting races. Dover was a lot cleaner than the Talladega race, which we'll get into later, which was a ton of fun. But you got the Dover race up right now, so let's go ahead and dive into this thing.
Leaders get off pretty well. You can watch coming out of 2 here. You may be able to see the 5 car. Matthew, nope. Oh, it's coming off of here. It's coming off of 4 here. You'll see Mr. Leedy get sideways, get into, I think that's Brett Stevens there. Yeah,
Yep.
He got him pretty good. So that didn't bring out a yellow. We did go first 39 laps here without a yellow, but much of the same racing with not many cautions and just good hard racing. It did string out a little bit here early, but it was racy for the first, 4 or 5 laps. It depends how hard people want to push it. I know this was what we have at 150 lap race.
Yep.
So 150 lap race. It's not the shortest race or longest race, but it's not a short one either. So people want to get in that rhythm and make sure they don't use up their stuff, which you are an ace at.
Yeah. It's still crazy to think. I never thought I would be somebody who was really good at saving tires. But then even also, it's something about this track, and I know you love this track as well, but I don't know what it is about this track. But the way I'm able to kind of diamond the corners and the way I'm able to run with these cars here is just so much fun. It just feels, and I don't like saying natural, but it does like feel natural.
It just fits your driving style perfectly.
Exactly, yeah.
And that diamond you're doing there, that one in particular, I don't think you were doing that all the time, that big diamond. But that diamond that you run here is a perfect diamond for these corners. Especially 3 and 4 down here is when you really, really need it. That turn 4, for whatever reason, is much harder to get off of than turn 2.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure why, but we will focus on you. And like I had said earlier, it's not that you'll drop back, but you'll start to see here as each lap goes through, you're going to start to reel in the leaders right here.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see you bury it in here. This is the hardest part, setting up these passes right here. Coming off the corner is the toughest one to do.
Mm-hmm.
You got to really trust that guy on the outside. It looks like Drew got the wall a little bit there. So there you go for 4th. And not sure how far up did you get. You go for 3rd. Right here, you're going to make the pass for 2nd.
I got up to 2nd, and I could hang with Josh for a good amount of time. I just kind of got stuck between like 2 to 3/10 behind him.
Yeah.
And Josh did a great job in that first run. He had a little bit more wear on his tires than I did, but he was able to manage it extremely well.
Yeah, he was very, very fast till that pit road debacle he had late there. Mm-hmm. So here would be our first caution. We're going to pick up Matthew Leedy, who had that issue on lap 1, but I think his tires were probably shot at this point, is what I'm guessing. I think everyone was wanting to get 4 fresh ones. I know for sure that I did not save near enough tire that I needed, but he's gotten the wall again.
Yeah.
And it just looks like that rear end wants to come around every time he's coming out. And I think right here is when you'll see the car finally loop around. There, it got the wall and the wall. Jason, unfortunate. He almost had enough room to squeak by on the inside there.
Yeah, it would have been a really great move.
So let's see that from this angle and see how hard Jason did get that wall. So he shoots back. It was probably a little more than Jason needed to do, it looks like.
Yeah.
But heads up by thinking that car may come across the track. Actually, looks like Jason might have got some of the wall there that might have pushed him that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the right front end of the wall. But I believe he keeps it out of the wall up here. That's an even harder job. So good job with him.
Yeah. Kept him in the race and still was able to miss Matt.
So from there, we can go to lap 40, I believe. 47 is our next caution. And that comes with good old Seth.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a ride with him here. He gets the wall. Sends it down back in there. You can hear that back end coming around. It's such a fast track, too. Oh, he never got that thing planted in there.
No.
About midway in the corner, and then he's just off. Right rear the whole way.
Yeah.
There was no... that thing corrected way right.
Mm-hmm.
Take another angle at that. Get it from the chopper. He's on the right rear after how he sat that thing in the corner, just an overcorrection. I believe that is Anthony with nowhere to go.
Yeah, unfortunately, just get caught up in that.
Yeah. Take one more look from Anthony's cockpit here. See what he saw. Get that Sir bearded car out in front of him. Right in the wall. Nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Still driving it, though. Got a fast repair. Get that thing fixed up. And then I believe our last one comes at 58, which will be my wrongdoing here. And we'll let this one play. Because we got a heck of a battle here. James Goshen, bless his heart. He's been having the speed every week. And it just... This 3 wide I didn't think was a good idea. So I backed out of that one. But James just has not had the luck.
That could have really been a disaster there.
Oh, yeah. And then I thought Jay right there was going to go up the track and clear it. And I ran right through him. Oh, we got a little bit of neck code there. That was interesting.
Yeah. Touching wheels.
Yeah. We'll go back here. And, yeah, I just straight drove in the left rear. But you can see him get some of the... Let me back it up a little bit. See him get some of the apron here. It kind of bobbles his car, but I still thought he was clear to the right.
Mm-hmm.
And it is. I just drove right through him. But
it's just one of those situations where you probably thought he was going to go a little bit higher up the track, and you just saw an opening and went for it.
Yeah, I wanted to power it off the corner, and I couldn't. So my fault, but live and we learn. So from that, I think this was basically the point where it became a Cooper Johnson race, and that was it. Had the lead, and I don't think he ever looked back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because after that last caution, we kind of were. I was constantly being told by John, who at this point was leading, that we were good on fuel, and he had the lead. They came around. They pit the first time. And then they came around and pit the second time, and John chose to come down the second time, which it still puzzles me why he chose to come down from the lead. And we had a good amount of guys that didn't choose to come down afterwards. And I felt confident enough that I was going to be able to be fine on tires. And I had that thought in the back of my head that, maybe a couple extra laps on the tires that I would have versus John, and knowing how good John is on kind of piecing his way through the field, that he could have a shot at passing me, but just kind of play that strategy of backing up to the guys behind you and just constantly saving your tires. And I definitely had a lot of points where I was worried that I was just because I kept backing up to, I believe it was Jake who was running behind me in second for most of that run. You can kind of see it up towards the front there where I'm just that group of 3 guys right behind me there. I kept just backing up to them and backing up to them.
Jake, Anthony, and Drew, it looks like.
Mm-hmm. And I had that thought in the back of my head. I'm like, am I saving too much here? Am I backing off too much? because I didn't want to have the chance of them getting by me or me letting them by and then having to
Right.
repass them again.
It's a lonely feeling getting 2-3 seconds out there, and you're just a sitting duck.
Yeah.
So that again, just we'll see it down here in 3 and 4. That perfect diamond that you run. Let that thing drift up mid corner, and then you power that thing right to the bottom and off the corner. Make sure you don't get any of the wall on the way out.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to make this a weekly thing here, and we're gonna go look at Jose's paint scheme because he has the best paint schemes ever.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So I'm not sure what the sponsor is. We'll have to get with him about that. But
yeah,
go ahead and take a look at this beauty.
My only complaint is that he's running a 24 in a Toyota, but regardless,
Hey,
the scheme is still really sweet.
Look at this. I mean, he's got it. So,
yeah, can't complain about that.
We'll start picking schemes of the week, and that's probably going to be Jose, most of them. But I do want to go back to this lap. I think it was right before the caution I triggered, which would be about the lap 53 restart. And I want to go over our top 10 or so here. So when we get to it, we got Josh in first. We have you in second. And this is what I want to point out is the amount of different drivers that have gotten into the top 5, gotten faster each week, gotten into the top 10, and how many different ones we have.
Mm-hmm.
So we got here again, James, when I get to him. So there's Jose in fourth, James in third. And this is not really a fluke. James has had speed. And he gets, right track position, he gets to third. And just the mental mistakes, and he said it, just some of the mistakes he makes just puts him out of reach of a good finish. You got Jake and John, normally somewhere near the front. And then you got Jay, had a good race going until I ran him over. Drew, Talladega winner, we'll get to that. And then you got Jason and Brett. And Brett's a threat every week. He just waits, and then he'll show up in the top 5 with about 10 laps to go.
My kind of driver.
So we got all of that going on there. And we'll go back to you and watch your last 2 laps here.
Now, I do want to point something out because you obviously won't be able to see it on your screen, but I did upload the replay of the stream that I did while I was racing in this.
Mm-hmm.
With about 2 to go, I was going into turn 3, and as I got into turn 3, my screen went completely black. And
I do remember this.
I almost had a panic attack. I went, oh shit.
Yeah.
Because I'm running away at this point. I have my 10-second lead. Like I'm just coasting at this point. I'm just trying to, tick off the laps. That's what I was doing for like the last 50 laps. I was just trying to tick off laps. And then to get to 2 laps to go. And then it was coming into turn 3. And I'm just so happy I kept my wheel still turned a little bit to left, just basically like turned it straight through the corner.
Yeah.
And I just let off the gas, I let off the brakes, and I just kind of waited. And I had a very small, tiny panic attack. And for basically the entire turn 3 and turn 4, I didn't have a screen. And then right off when I came off 4, it came back, thank God. But
yeah, you don't ever want to run into that issue.
It's
almost like a blown tire in real life is what it would equate to. So we're going to get down here and we're going to play the rate the burnout game.
Oh,
as Seth goes and wrecks someone else after the race like he does each week.
I'd say it's more like blowing an engine. Like
when
your screen going black, that's more like blowing an engine. And my excuse as to why I didn't get a better burnout is because of that reason. That for some reason I did like a couple of donuts, and then you can see I came back around like one more time here. And then you go by me, and I went to go try to do like kind of like have it sideways a little bit and kind of just just run the tires off. And then right when I started to go straight, my engine just blew. Like it just quit. It literally just, it wasn't even like it blew up. It just
Yeah.
quit. And
Yeah.
everything went to zero. And so kind of anticlimactic. At least I got a couple of donuts in though. So
Yeah. Oh. You win some, you lose some.
Yeah.
So we got I don't know how I can. I guess that's best I can do. Anyway, that is Dover. I'll give you a 6 on the burnout.
6 out of 10? That's a lot
Yeah.
better than I thought you'd give me.
You go 6.
I'd give myself a 4.
But let's run down the results here. So you went top of the board, John second, Brett third, Josh led a bunch of the race, fourth, and Leedy with his top 5 there. Jose another great run at 6th, Drew 7th. I came in 8th, James 9th. We're disappointed that he did not let Jason by and finish 10th. That's just a mental mistake on Mr. James's issue, or mental mistake on him. But
shout out
he
to
is
Matt.
our preliminary 10th place driver.
Yeah, shout out to Matt though, having multiple issues throughout the race, hitting the wall a bunch of times. Had that problem on lap 1, and then comes back and finishes top 5. That's not bad.
Yeah, we had some movers and shakers there too. Look at Jose starting 13th, finishing 6th. Brett 10th, finishing 3rd. Jason at 16th, finishing 10th. James 15th, finishing 9th. Bunch of guys moving up. So we will scoot on over to Talladega as quick as I can get there. You have any last thoughts on Dover there?
Was a ton of fun. Did not ever expect to lap almost the entire field at Dover of all places. That I kind of knew I had a competitive car, but did not expect to do that.
Right.
But overall, it was a really fun race. Everyone kind of raced pretty clean for most of it. Everyone did a really good job. The Cup cars are not easy to drive at Dover, and with how tight everything is, and you expect guys to kind of bounce off the wall and have. I honestly expected to have a little bit more wrecks than we did have.
So did I.
And to see kind of once we had those couple of cautions that we had there around like 40 or so, kind of clean those up, and then from there we kind of ran green. It was a lot of fun for sure.
Yeah, it's been up through those. That was the first 3 races. I mean, the wrecks minimal. It's been a lot of green flag racing, side by side racing, clean racing. It's been fun.
Yeah,
and I expected the Cup car honestly to be a lot more like a slot car at Dover, but I figured that was one of the better tracks to run there, and it did turn out to be a really good track to run.
Yeah, and everyone, I think we kind of came in to this thing with the expectations of having a ton of cautions and people not being able to keep their cars straight. And, I think from taking a lot of the guys from when we ran 87s in the last league and how much problems we had there to now coming in here. And obviously the 87s are a lot harder to control at certain spots, at certain tracks. They're not designed to be stuck to the ground like these things, whether it's Cup, Xfinity, or the trucks. To see everybody run as well as they have is really, really nice to see personally, and we continue to see new people come in, and the new people that we've seen come in have been awesome. Like they've been competitive. They've been running up towards the front. We'll see it in this Talladega race. Now it's Talladega, obviously, but still to see some new faces competing up towards the front and being competitive and, making a, run for their money is nice to see.
Yeah, for sure. And
not seeing the same people every single week win races is nice. We've had new winners every single week. That's awesome to see.
Still haven't had a repeat winner, so that's always good to show competitiveness in the league. And even saying it is Talladega, yeah, everyone's got a shot, but it does take skill to get to where you're going here.
It takes skill and it takes smarts. It takes just knowing when to make certain moves at certain times.
Yeah, so we'll start off Talladega here and watch the first lap or two. I mean, I figure with how long we made this, and I made it longer than it needed to be. I think we ran 75 laps.
Yes.
Made it longer than it needed to be. And to be honest, everyone still went for it. and that was an awesome thing to be a part of. You
Oh.
can see it here. They're already bump drafting down the front or the back straightaway here, and we're still on lap 1.
Yeah, and for how many wrecks that we did have, we had a lot of points where guys made amazing saves. I know Jason made a great save coming through turn 3 at one point in the middle of the race. We had a lot of guys who were like just getting the shove the hell out of, and we're saving it and keeping it straight and not causing giant pileups every couple laps. Like, there was some really good racing in this thing.
There
for
was.
how many wrecks that we did have, and it also wasn't just certain points in the middle where we were running single file. Guys were aggressive pretty much the entire race.
Oh, yeah.
Guys were trying to make a second line and trying to get to the front.
You can see it here in the pink 18 and the Valvoline 9 here with Vincent, or was that 42? Yeah, 42. Vincent and David came in. I think it's David's second race, Vincent's first, and they wanted to get to the front right away. And right away, David almost ruined Vince's race.
I know Vincent ain't done, and he'll be back later. But those two worked together a ton throughout the entire race. And
they worked very, very well together.
Mm-hmm.
And here you get the cars separated a bit, and then we'll see the closing rate. And I think you might be able to see it better from this blimp angle. But there's the breakup of the pack, and we're going to see just how quick these packs reconglomerate, if that's a word. I don't know if that's a word. But.
Yeah.
So David paid the price there, moving Vince a little bit, but it's a long race. Got a fast repair.
Yeah.
And
not only fast repair, but these trucks, I noticed, even when you did take some damage, they can take a fucking beating. They
can take, yeah. Here I'm telling Matthew we're going, and I had every intention of going. We had a nice run there, and I think it just stalls out. I think I might have had him go. Yep. Yeah, that's the aggression.
Yeah,
we're going all the way through.
The trucks are great in super speedway races. They're obviously like the last really good car that you can run, other than obviously the 87s, just because of the packages that the Xfinity and the Cup Series have. But that third lane, it's so hard to get that third lane going up top. You need like a lot of guys to really
and you got to be tucked. Mm-hmm. So you can see, we're only on lap 3, I think, here, and we're 3 wide, 4 wide already. Look at them bouncing around, moving.
Oh, yeah.
You're getting a nice bump draft there from Drew. I think he finally figured out what number he wanted. It looks like it's 98 now.
Yeah.
So
hopefully he commits to that number.
Yeah. And again, I believe I caused the first trouble, so we're going to go ahead and go find that lap. I believe here. That was this lap. So we're going to set this up in the cockpit. And what we're trying to do, I think we might have been trying to go get the third lane. Get hooked up here. We're going, third lane. And we're going for it. And I know that the left rear is the faster way to go, but I know it's touchy, so I'm trying to center him up here. And it is not easy to push. You can see just how much, right there, that's how much you can see. So,
and it's that fine line of trying to kind of see, but then also not, push him right in the left rear like that.
There it is.
And turn him. It's hard to do. It really is.
And well, I bumped off of it too, and I thought, you can see here how close we are, and I'm not into him. But as we move this forward, he slides up a bit, which must have just given my nose just enough room as I stayed low.
Right there, yeah.
Yeah, and I got into him. And it doesn't look like I'm any different further away.
It's once you hit that left rear, there is no saving it.
No. And you can see right here, I'm right on him. But I get that left rear, and yep. I think Bo did a good job, and I don't know if it was because David was down there. David had a wild first couple laps there. I don't know if it was because David was down there or what, but Bo did a good job of not taking out the whole field. I know he wasn't too thrilled with me, and I will apologize to him for that. But
Bo had a a trip in this race for sure.
Oh yeah,
He had a lot of fun.
Yeah. So let's see what this does if we focus on crashes here. One more look at this. He is way out of shape. There, you got David. David got the wall, but most of his looked like it was aero damage. I don't think he had too much.
No, and he hit that square, and really that at that point that might give him 20 seconds of damage.
Yeah,
it's really not too much. And like I said earlier, these trucks are tough. So
that was good. And then here you go again with the people up front. You got you, Jose, Ryan Wingate. Yeah. He's been racing with us a little bit here and there when he can get some time, and he's running third right here. Look at Randy in the 19. He's up there in top 10.
Yeah, Randy had a lot of really good runs.
I'm trying to figure out where the caution comes here, but we're going to run through each one because each of them had their own mystique. Some of these might be hard to find because we had to throw some manual ones for stuff that wasn't getting called.
Mm-hmm.
Blimp might be the better way to look. But I believe this would be a lap that we had a caution. I have it on lap 19.
So there you see, you got Drew up front, and then you got Vincent, who was involved in that wreck earlier, is right behind him in second there.
Yeah, Vince kept pedaling. He had the thing matted.
The two guys who I loved racing with this entire thing were Jose, who was right behind me, and then Vincent, who was right in front of me there. I raced with those guys a good portion of this race, and they were a ton of fun to race with.
Yeah, and you can see Vince still got that right front damage from that earlier incident. Oh, and Seth just turns Anthony right into him, just as we were talking about it.
Yeah.
You came out with a little bit of left rear. Let's go back and take another look at that. That happened quick.
Oh, yeah.
And that's that left rear again.
Mm-hmm. It's a treacherous spot at this thing. And then, plus, pushing in the corners is never a good idea. But, at the end of the race, it's one thing. But then at that point, it's kind of a little bit aggressive. But still.
Yeah. And you had a good job getting this thing woed down. And everyone did a good job.
Credit
right
to
there. It's just enough bumping that bumped a little bit of bumpers there.
And
Ryan.
Credit to both those guys, James and Ryan, for backing it down as well.
Oh, yeah. They were on the brakes. It was just, you can't do enough because you don't know what's happening in front of you. You see them coming back up. They're on the brakes, and it's just a couple bumpers colliding. It doesn't look like it's too bad.
No.
So we will move on to the next one, which looks like lap 32. We'll get back to this blimp. And I think we want to focus on crashes here. I'm not sure. Okay, we got Anthony leading. Looks like the caution may already be out. So what happened back here?
Oh, it was
Bo and Seth. Looks like
I know what this one is. This is between me and Bo. So Cooper
goes 3 wide.
You can tell, I split up the middle. Because at this point, I wanted to get back to the front. I was basically the Pied Piper for most of the race until I had to come down and fix that damage.
Yeah, Bo just gets you a bit.
So I was kind of towards the back, and I'm just kind of, putting along up towards the front. I got this giant run coming down the back stretch.
Yeah, we'll get inside of your car and see how that run goes.
As you can tell, I'm all by myself. Now, at this point, a couple laps earlier, I was kind of hanging around, going to the top, to the bottom, and just trying to kind of find a run to kind of gain spots, but I couldn't find it. So I said, screw it. I'll go up the middle. I still got a faster pair. And so I went up the middle here, and I thought with how fast I was going and how much time I was gaining here, I actually might have a shot to maybe either get ahead of Anthony or just find a line. And right there, you can see I got kind of clipped. I believe it was partially not code, partially Bo may have came up a little bit just because he was pushing Seth, but
we'll take a look at that here. See what happens.
Yeah.
You guys both did a good job to not pummel that inside wall though.
Yeah.
So you got Bo on the inside, Jose on the outside. Bo, he came up enough that it was going to get you anyway. A little bit of net code, but he came up enough.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You guys
And
did a good job not smacking that
yeah,
wall, though.
we packed that down pretty good. We kind of hit it to where it wasn't too bad, and then we ended up having to throw the mandatory caution for that one. But
yeah, that was one of those. We'll go back here to 38, see what happens. Because I think this was another one of those yellows we had to throw. And there you go. Oh, I have that thing up. You got Randy running 5th. James running 4th. I don't know what I have this on right now, but it certainly isn't where it should be. Look at Jose, Randy, James. You got Logan creeping up there. Ryan's still running he was up there all race, running 3rd. I mean, there it is again. The top 5 from last week is vastly different from top 5 running order right here. So it's competitive. Each and every week, someone brings a fast piece. I don't know what happens here. Well, I guess we'll find out. But a bunch of these. This was just a product of everyone going for it, and it was fun, but it also got a little bit long there.
Yeah. Those two were the smart two, the two that backed out there.
Yeah.
Now, it was kind of scary for him because I think Logan, and I want to say, I can't tell who that is, but it might be Randy. But they both.
It was Randy.
They both backed out at the exact same time, and they kind of
stacked everyone up.
Yeah. Well, they stacked each other up because they almost ran over each other.
Yeah. We got Jose. There we go.
Yeah.
That was another one. A lot of people didn't have anywhere. Bo's having himself a hell of a day.
Bo had nowhere to go. I got wrapped up in that one as well too.
It looks like we'll go take a look at Jose here. I think he was trying to side draft and just got a little too far down. So we'll take a look at it. He got up there. He's kind of by himself. Yeah, they've kind of both went the same time, but Jose went down a little bit further than Ryan came up. So,
and Jose came out of that pretty okay.
Yeah, he did
for sure.
And I think the one that got the worst of it here is Mr. Bo. So you can see this happen in front of him. Takes him. James just got that tailpipe. Damn.
Yeah.
Bo was gonna make it. We'll see. I mean, this is where the issue really arises, and we'll go look at Ryan's car. The way that his car spins right here, so it pops up, but the way it spins back and just clips Randy's right rear is what takes you and Bo into the wall.
Mm-hmm.
So that wasn't, James perfectly positions his car right here to miss it, and that is a wild way that there's a bit of net code too, but
yeah.
Vince narrowly sneaking by.
Mm-hmm. Good job of Vincent for missing it.
I don't know who else we have back here. Oh, wait, I know we have David back here. He got another clip once. It's James.
Oh, yeah, and then James just comes right across. I feel so bad for David on that one.
He did. He didn't quit either. He was coming back. So he was back up there eventually. Where are we on that one? Lap 39. I'm going to see lap 50. Still got that big gap or big pack, and Jose running second. There's Vince and David back up there leading that top line. Mm-hmm. Stacked it up a bit, and it just got a hard hit for Jose. That was one of those throttle bumps. Not much to say about it, honestly. From Jose's point of view, we can go on board, but the shot that he got, let's go on board with Seth, because I think it came from the shove here. Mm-hmm. I don't know how much of a shove it really was, but it just was kind of an accordion effect. Everyone got a little bit out of line. Good job, Seth, keeping it straight, though.
Yeah.
And back up a little bit, and let's go on board with Jose during this. Jose's up there. He backed out to not get into Anthony's left rear. And big
Mm-hmm.
hit. Big time hit. Running well, too. Feel bad for that one. So we'll do that. Go up to laps. You can't get away from people. Go up here to lap 61. At this point, I had figured a lot of people would have got Drew Seth again pushing.
Yeah.
So I
He was
think
aggressive.
this one was more of a competition caution we threw. I think with how many cars it backed up.
Yeah.
It was a nice job of people keeping their cars straight, but
Mm-hmm.
at this point, I was thinking most people, you might have half the field that was still competitive, but look how many cars we got. We still got 15 competitive cars with the fast repairs and everything. That's the people were going to burn through them earlier.
Yeah.
So, that left rear again. You get that left rear and it just starts turning people. So I do believe that was just a little competition one we had to throw. We'll go check out 67 here. Get that thing off the screen for everyone. Big move for the lead. Is that you on the outside there, Cooper?
I can't quite tell.
It looks like it.
It might be.
Jose gets moved down. Still in a good
That's you and
spot.
me, isn't it?
Okay, yeah.
This is when you and me finally got hooked up, and then they went and died behind us.
Yeah, that happened.
It was that tumbling down the backstretch there. That might be Anthony if I can't.
Yeah, we're gonna get closer here. We're gonna look at the chopper view. I mean, let's set this back up from the middle of turn 2 here. So that's probably gonna be our easiest vantage point. But David still got back up there with that damage. You still got Ryan. Ryan was running that second spot on the bottom. It seemed like all night.
Great.
It looks like we clear here. Oh, yep. That was just that little bit of side code there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna look at the rear chase of you through this. I think that's gonna give us a good optic of what's going on here. So Anthony got that run and went to go 3 wide, and I was just trying to shade over and knock that run out. He backs up, and it just didn't line perfectly. So you had Ryan get into the left rear, Anthony got in the right rear, David.
Yeah.
And we'll set this up from Anthony's run here in the cockpit. See what he saw. And yeah, I definitely threw a block here. No doubt about that.
Yeah.
And Anthony gets turned, and we're going for a ride. Only one roll this time. I'll give him a 3 on the landing. He stuck the landing, it looks like. We'll give him a 10. He ain't going anywhere.
Yeah.
This is a product of plate racing, though. It's going to happen. So let's get to me. I want to see someone's just snuck through here real quietly. I want to see who it was. Seth. Yep. It was Seth. Seth and looks like Jason had some wild run through there. Let's go to Seth's cockpit real quick. So he can't see anything right now. All of it happens right in front of him, and the seas just part. This one I remember now because I want everyone to go see how close David was to getting into Seth's left rear. He comes back. Oh my! Just that little movement right saved Seth's car. Little veer right. And let's go take a look at Jason back here. So he was in a mess. I think he got a little bit. Yeah, everyone's out there. He got a little bit of the side, but for the most part, stayed out of it. Looks like Jose did a good job missing everything, too. He might have been. Yeah, he was the one that got pushed out.
Yeah, he had just gotten pushed out, and he was trying to make his way back up.
I thought. Oh, and tagged at the last second with David. Oh, that looks like a blown motor. Yeah.
Yeah. That's really unfortunate. He deserves a shout out because he was running up towards the front pretty much the entire first half of the race.
Yeah, he was. And I think that pretty much set up our final dash to the finish, and that's where I want to take us.
It was a great finish for sure.
Final dash here. Let's go with the blimp cam here. And I think this is 3 to go, so we'll just let this run.
Mm-hmm. Now, the two up top, John and Brett, basically had the strategy of running in the back the whole race. So they weren't too happy with all the cautions and how long the race was going. But they had the smart strategy, though, of waiting until the very end, and then on the last run, those two hooked up. And I can't quite tell who's behind me. I think that's Matt.
Matt is behind you.
Yeah.
And you got Seth behind John and Brett, and Drew not sure where he wants to go.
And I don't know if it was just him not being totally confident and pushing me or what, but he was just kind of doing his regular push. And, John and Brett were not afraid to push the living hell out of each other, and they end up, don't want to spoil it here, but that outside lane finally gets a run here, and you can kind of see they're starting to gain on me. And I got Drew.
Yeah, and if that outside lane stays hooked up, I think it is the preferred lane.
Yeah, but the problem is that, most of the time you can't get somebody to really hook up there. You
and there's what I want to point out, and what really kind of delayed this epic more of an epic finish. It was a pretty good finish, but watch the neck code between the 98 and the 99 here. There's a solid foot between those two cars, and it just
oh yeah,
bang.
That's awful. That is so awful.
Yeah. And there was a little bit of contact here with Jason, but look, Jason kept his car straight. Everything's fine. Just kind of moved up, but it just turns the 99. And I feel terrible for Logan, but we could not at that point throw a caution.
Yeah, it screwed 3 trucks out of the whole thing there.
Yeah, I didn't want to make it like an odd 2-lap shootout. You guys were running at it here. So
at that point you can't really throw it. And then so you got Brett and John up front, and at this point I got Matt behind me, and I know Matt's gonna stick to my bumper. I'm telling him, I didn't tell him, come with me, but I think he kind of understood I'm gonna make my move at some point here, and I think we're coming either 2 to go or 1 to go here. But
Seth's still pushing.
Oh, he did not stop pushing all race. You can kind of see I was trying my best to lay back as much as I could and just kind of wait, but I knew I had to kind of make my move there.
Yeah, and this is shaping up again.
Yeah.
The run that you get.
And it's just everyone's pushing so hard. You got Seth on the outside there. He's going to try and help us get that outside lane going. And then right here, you got all 4 cars in the outside lane. Brett and John are screwed if I can keep it straight. Like, they're coming off of 4. I'm going to have the momentum by the time we get to the start-finish line with the extra time. But then there you can see I just get turned.
Oh, man.
I feel so bad for Brett hanging back and hanging in the back all race long.
Yeah.
It's like that Carl Edwards strategy. Just hung in the back all race long, had the lead there at the end, and then just gets turned coming out of 4, and I feel really bad for him. But
Drew go back here. Home, but we'll get a closer look here. Let's see if we can get a decent TV angle at least. There we go.
Yeah. So it's again pushing in the corners, which is tough.
You have to here, and it's that left rear again.
Yep, it's the same
Brett
thing.
Took a hard hit.
Yeah. Matt, unfortunately, I don't even think made it back to the line. I think he got stuck a lap down after that.
Yeah, and he had a great race going too, but this is the product of plate racing again. You're gonna have it. Yeah. Inches. Brett was inches away from just running that through.
Yeah, and it's hard to tell from that angle, but he hit me really hard once, and he kind of gave me enough of a shot to kind of push me up the track, but then he followed it right back up by hitting me in the left rear, which obviously turned me.
Yeah, and you can't blame too much on anyone here. It's just you're going for it.
Everybody's pushing.
You can hear him out of the throttle trying to let you get back down.
Mm-hmm. And
there's one hit out of the throttle, bang, nothing he can do.
Yeah, nothing that Matt did wrong. It's just it's just how it goes.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe he did get back to the line. It was
Brett. I think it was Brett that
it was
couldn't.
Brett. Yeah, unfortunately.
So
really bad for him. He couldn't even make it back to the line.
Yeah, that was unfortunate for him, and we're gonna go and rate Drew's burnout. Okay. We got the burnout started early with Seth's weekly wrecking of someone. Looks like John turned him, actually.
Yeah. John was not happy at the end of this thing. He thought he was going to push his buddy to the finish, and it unfortunately didn't go that way.
Nope. But let's go rate Drew's burnout. Solid start. I give it a 4 on the start.
4. A little bit harsh.
You can keep the foot in it too long. Now we're getting dizzy. This is better. I'll give him up to about a 6.5 here.
Yeah.
His lines aren't straight. His circles aren't straight. He keeps like he's a little drunk driving. There you go. Burn it down, buddy. Now he's burning it down.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, you hit the wall, you lose a point there, so we're back to a 7.5. Can't be hitting the wall on your burnouts. Now, he gave the fans a show, that's for sure.
You got a 9 from me on that one.
I'll give him a 7.5.
I'm a little bit more generous. I mean, he's still not done. You're going to cut him off? He's still not done.
Yeah. The replay cut him off there, so. We will also share our top 10 from this race. We got Drew with the win, our 4th different winner in 4 weeks. Seth with the 2nd place run. John, didn't hear much from him all day, but comes home 3rd and still the points leader.
Yeah.
You're there in 4th. I got lucky and got 5th. Ryan, I mean, he seemed like he was running 3rd the entire race. Still comes home 6th. Matthew did well. Got 7th. Vincent, his first race with us, finished 8th, and probably the most aggressive out there, and it was fun to watch.
Oh, yeah. I had a ton of fun racing with him.
Logan, 9th. Still feel bad for him on that last little issue there.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably my fault and probably should have thrown the caution flag, but we were in the run for the win, so I didn't want to. And David had everything run into him, I would say. Still came home 10th. So it's a very, very diverse crew again that is the top 10. And we'll go and look at the standings real quick before we sign off here. Where is our standings? I think we can go here probably. Is that showing the standings now?
Yep.
All right. So we got John up and 5 back. We got you, 7 back me, and then you got a little bit of a gap to 4th and Matthew. Seth 5th, Jose 6th, Anthony 7th, Drew 8th, James Goshen. We're saying he's got the speed, 9th, and Brett now in 10th. Brett has back-to-back challenge wins. This week it was least incidents. He came out with 4. The week before it was it the hard charger the week before?
Hard charger, yes.
2 in a row, and he's taken home the money prize for 2 in a row there.
Yeah. Shout out to Matt being 4th in play. You know, for all the incidents that he's had. He had an incident in Iowa, incident at Dover, incident at Talladega. I mean, he's been in a lot of wrecks, and for him to still be 4th place in points is impressive. You can see it in his incidents.
4 top 10s.
37 incidents there.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
4 top 10s. And we got Seth out there. Look at him. 46 incident points.
yeah, Seth is a wrecking ball.
Yeah, you don't want to be near him.
No.
So we got what's coming up next? Darlington and Xfinity.
Yeah. So
what's your thoughts on that?
It's going to be interesting. You know, it's the first time we're going to Xfinity. We just finished up our last truck race, so knocked off one of them. But it was the first time we're racing the Xfinity cars. Darlington is always a challenge, no matter what car you take there. It's always going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Xfinity a little bit extra interesting because, you know, it's the one most fun car out of the main 3 that we usually run. I'd probably say it's going to be, I'd say most the same thing that we've seen over the last couple of races. You maybe see a couple of incidents early, you know, maybe not right away, but maybe, 20, 30 laps in, you might see somebody make a mistake here or there. But I think mostly clean. personally, as far as people that we don't have John next week. Now that's an interesting point. Now I know that you've had some success there in the past, so I probably have to pick as far as a winner or somebody to watch out for. There, I probably have to say you, but I'm going to go out and say I'm going to say Logan. And Logan's ran into a lot of problems in the races that he's been a part of. He's always seemed to be competitive when he is running well and he isn't involved in somebody else's wreck. I'm going to pick Logan to be a wild card going into Darlington.
Yes, Logan is a great pick. He's shown speed every single place we've been and not had the luck to come back out of it. And I also wouldn't be too alarmed with these points. And when you get down to like 9th, 10th, 11th, and how far back they are, I do believe we are going to do a drop week based on the league vote. Mm-hmm. So a bunch of these guys are going to get right back in the hunt for the title. But Logan has had the speed everywhere. The thing that I want to look at, and with John being out, and one biggest thing in Darlington is to keep the car clean. Brett Stevens. Yeah. Nobody better at keeping the car clean than Brett.
Yeah.
So to finish first, you first must finish.
It's like you said at the Dover race, he found himself finishing third in that race, and he was, just hanging in the back, and then found his way up towards the front. And at Darlington, it's important, just like most every other, mile and a half to, mile and 3/4 tracks, to save your tires. Mm-hmm. Darlington is extremely important in saving your tires. I'd say just as much as probably Dover is. In the Xfinity cars, they're not going to be stable. They're not going to be like the trucks where they're kind of glued to the ground. You're going to be loose coming off of turn 2, and it's going to be tight through 3 and 4. So Brett's probably a really good prick as well. So.
Yep, and that's going to be the one that I go with there probably. I would like to give a nice shout out there to Randy and Ryan. They just have had bad luck, but you can see it in Randy's average finish. Or I have that backwards, but even in his instance, he's only got 17 there. Average starts 11th. I mean, he's got speed in that car. Ryan sitting there right around the 11th place, and he's probably got a few top 7 or 8s taken away from him. But 4 different winners, 4 different weeks. A lot of faces, a lot of different faces in the top 10 each week.
Yeah, and knowing the trend that we've had, if either Brett or Logan get the win next week, it'd be continuing that trend of new winners every week.
Right, 5 and 5. So I'll be disappointed. I mean, we got James Roth only one top 10, and if he doesn't finish 10th next week, I don't know if we can continue letting him drive. But we will review that as a group, as an entire league, and not let James vote on it, but we will all vote on whether James can continue running if he doesn't finish exactly 10th.
Yep.
That is mandatory for him to finish exactly 10th.
Might be punishment of taking that number away from him.
Yeah. Don't want that to happen, James. So if you're listening, figure it out.
Yeah.
But that'll wrap it up. I think we should wrap it up here and get on to Darlington and see what kind of wild stuff we get into there.
Yeah. Thank you to everybody who tuned in. Hope you guys enjoyed. We had to cover 2 races in one episode, so it's going to be obviously a little bit long again. But next week, we're only going to have Darlington to cover. We'll tighten it up. It'll be a shorter episode, and hopefully it'll continue to improve from here.
No doubt. We will see you guys next week. Follow us all on it's Juicebox Racing Leagues.
Yep.
Is that right? Is it Juicebox Racing or Juicebox Racing Leagues?
Juicebox Racing on Twitter and Instagram.
Get nice clips out there.
Oh yeah, you get Hank gets a bunch of really nice clips out there on Instagram. Go check those out. So, and if you guys are interested, you're listening, interested in racing with us, we're always open to having people come in and join with us. You obviously see, there's new winners every week. It's not the same people winning every week. It's not some guy with 6,000 I rating dominating the league. It's competitive, and we try to spread the wealth, try to have everybody have a good time, because that's mostly what this league is about. We're just trying to have a good time. We're just trying to, enjoy each other's company. We have shit ton of fun in the Discord call. We shoot the shit all the time, and trust me, it's worth coming along and racing with us.
No doubt. So if you want to race, send one of those Twitter or Instagram accounts a DM, and we'll get you guys set up.
Yeah, plus, it's free. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's free. Free. Random Tuesday night, you get bored. It's free to come on down and race with us.
For sure. We'll see you guys next week.